guys, so here, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm telling you all the books I read in January. So just a heads up, I only have one of the books I read because the rest are back at my parents' house, and one of them I have here with me. But just a heads up, I won't have my physical books besides one. In the month of February, I read a total of 5 books. I was actually a lot more excited about it than I thought I was. I thought I was only going to get to like 3, but since I had my 24-hour readathon vlog, I ended up finishing at least 2 that day, and I read 2 before that, so there was 4 right there. The first book I read this month was The Shoutouts Between Us by Trisha Levenseller. I rated this a 5 out of 5, and this was my favorite book of the month. I absolutely loved this story. I loved the romance. I loved the plot. It was just, there were so many plot twists. I loved it, and I couldn't get over it. I did a reading vlog for this, so if you want to know more information about it, I'll leave that link below, or you can find it on my channel. So go watch it if you want to know more information about it. Like I said, I rated it a 5 out of 5. I loved the main character. Like, all the characters were well, like, planned out, and I loved their relationships. Like, not just like relationship between the main character and someone else, but like the best friend relationships, the sister relationships, like everything, like relationships wise, were like well planned out. So that was the first book I read this month, and I'm so glad that that was my first book of 2021 because I started off great and it made me want to read more, which is what I ended up doing. The next book I read was Fable by Adrienne Young. I rated this book a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it, but it wasn't really like 5 stars for me. I think that the beginning, it wasn't really slow paced, but like I didn't enjoy the beginning as much as like maybe other people did. The rest of the story was really good. I did have one mix up with the character who I thought was like in his like 40s or 50s, and he was apparently like 19, but like they didn't really describe him that well in the beginning, so it felt really awkward when like in the last like 2 chapters the main 2 characters kissed, and like Fable is like I think like 18, like 16, 17, 18, and I'm just like, this is weird. But then at the end the main character described him as this handsome pirate, and I was like, oh, okay. No, but literally I went through this entire book thinking that like a character was 50 years old when he was like 19. So like I feel like that was just a really awkward accident, you could say. Anyways, I rated this book a 4 out of 4. I didn't really talk much about it because I didn't do a vlog and it wasn't in my 24-hour readathon vlog, so I'll tell you a little bit about it now. The main character's name is Fable, and she ended up being deserted by her father at the age of I think of 7 or 8 on an island after her mother was drowned. And I think it took her like 10 years to build herself up, get enough money, get off the island, and track down her father. At least that was her goal. But along the way, she had to overcome a few things. She had to learn more about her character and almost like how to survive instead of really care about herself. Like personality wise, like any relationships, like she didn't form any relationships, even though she should have since she was like, you know, a 7-year-old, but she didn't. She pretty much just learned how to survive for those 10 years until she could get off that island. Like I said, I rated this a 4 out of 5. I still think you guys should read it. I'm really excited about the second book coming out, so I'll probably get that pre-ordered soon. So I highly suggest you guys read this book. The next book I read was the start of my 24-hour readathon vlog, which if you haven't seen that already, go watch that too. I ended up reading Lore, which I also rated a 5 out of 5. I at first didn't like it very much because it had a lot of descriptors that I thought like didn't need to be there, and so I just thought like it was kind of boring at the beginning because it was trying to fill so many things in at once, and I just really didn't like that. But I got over it, and the story was great, the relationships were great, the romance was great, plot was great, plot twists were great, and so I ended up rating this a 5 out of 5. I loved it, and if you want to know more about it, go to my 24-hour readathon vlog. You'll hear more about like my thoughts, and like there's no spoilers in it, but like there are scenes where I get excited, there are like scenes where I'm angry, so like you'll just see more of my emotions involving the book. So in this world, there's something called an Agon where every, I think, 7 years the original gods get sent down to Earth to pretty much get hunted and killed. This is a punishment from Zeus that honestly is kind of unfair, but that's just my opinion. And one of the years our main character Lore, aka Melora, not a spoiler, that's not a spoiler, ends up coming upon and pretty much dying Athena, and she agrees to help her in order to get something everything that she wants. Years ago, her family was brutally murdered, and she's pretty much been scrounging around, hunting and staying with these other people until she was old enough to take care of herself. And she's kind of taken herself out of the Agon to pretty much be like doing it for her family that was murdered, pretty much. And now with Athena at her doorstep, she's kind of being brought back into the Agon, and her best friend that she apparently thought was dead is also bringing her back into the Agon. So through the entire story, we go through the eyes of Lore, and we get to go through the Agon with her and pretty much see all these new gods and old gods and just a lot of Greek mythology at its finest. Like I said, I rated this a 5 out of 5. I highly suggest that you guys read it. It was such a good book. It was my first book by Alexander Bracken, and it was also my first Greek mythology book, so I'm really glad I enjoyed it. The next book I read that was also in that vlog was A Girl Serpent, Thorn. I rated this book a 4 out of 5. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the last 3/4 of it. Did not enjoy the first 1/4 of the book, so that's probably what brought it down to 4 out of 5. The beginning of the book was kind of almost like a pity writing, like the author really wanted you to pity the main character, but after we got out of that pity writing, the plot and the story just got so much better, the characters got better, I started to love it a lot more, and the story was very interesting. So in this world, we go through kind of like the point of view of a princess who cannot be touched. Her touch is poisonous to legit everything that's living, except for plants, and this princess is named Soraya. I think it's Soraya? Yeah, Soraya. And as she learns that her brother is going to get married, she's starting to get sick of not living with everyone else. She was put away into like a castle by herself. She has no friends, no contact with anyone, and she's finally sick of it. So when a royal guard tells her that like he's going to help her break out of this curse, she's totally down for it. But things take a turn for events, and bad things, very, very, very bad things happen. I'm not really going to tell you much more about the story because like anything else would be a spoiler, and I'm not going to do that in this video even though I want to. But yeah, I ended up rating this book a 4 out of 5. I had mixed feelings about this book. Like I liked it, but then I didn't like it, and like it was a roller coaster of emotions. It was strange. Anyway, on to our last book. So our last book was How the King of Elfhim Learned to Hate Stories by Holly Black. I read this in one sitting. Look at this beautiful cover. I got this from Fairy Loot. So beautiful. I really enjoyed this. Obviously, this was a 5 out of 5. If you've read this series, I think you definitely need to read this book. I wasn't sure if I was going to get it or not, but I'm really glad I did. Although it kind of made me sad because like now I just want more of Cardan and Jude. That's all I want now. And I don't think Holly Black is writing more of Cardan and Jude, and that kind of makes me sad. But it's fine, I guess. It's fine. So in this small little novella book, we go through I think like 5 or 6 stories of Cardan, like growing up and like seeing who he is and like why he's that way. And we do get a few chapters with him and Jude like after they're married, and it was amazing. I loved this book. I highly suggest this book. I can't really tell you much about this book because like there's nothing really that I can say besides just read it. Alright you guys, so I read a total of 5 books in January. I was really glad with where I was at. Comment down below how many books you guys read in January, and you know, you guys probably did a lot better than I did, but that's okay. Like this video and subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this. I'll see you next time guys. Bye!